We're going to probably add this to the show where I respond to comments because I like it and the producer says it's good interaction with people. So we're picking up some from where we left off yesterday. You're completely lost. He was antithetical of Christ and truly a hate monger, a pure racist. Could be about, it looks like it's about Charlie Kirk, antithetical to Christ, truly a hate. No, I think he was a Christian. I mean, he had a family. I think they pushed Christian values at TPUSA. I just think he would take digs at certain groups of people, which Jesus wouldn't do that. But, you know, that doesn't mean you're not a Christian because Jesus wouldn't curse and I curse my ass off. And I'm a Christian. That's somebody saying political clip. I seen that. As another black A-dash MRT 3925. This is to the Nick Fuentes, dear black people. As another black person, I feel sorry for you not being able to handle this. Truth is very hard for sure. I think I can handle it. Maybe I just get a little animated. So I said that during this response that maybe I should calm down. But I can handle what he said. He was just lying, so I called him out on his lies. Andres Loving, 8930. The white man who stabbed the black girl in Charlotte, North Carolina. You mean the black criminal who stabbed the Ukrainian? No, so there's both. A black person stabbed the Ukrainian refugee, but then also there was a white man who stabbed the black girl on a bus. Both of these things happened. I'm not sure if they happened in North Carolina, but maybe next episode, if I can remember and we set it up, I can show the story of the white man who stabbed the black girl. Also, I brought up Dylan Root this episode. He just shot up a whole bunch of black people. And there's obviously in America's history countless stories of whites, even in recent history, being violent towards blacks. Divine Beauty, 98. This is from the hidden link between crime and IQ, which was our second episode. It's our least watched episode, people. Check out the hidden link between crime and IQ. It talks about the relationship between crime and IQ. It's not necessarily a racist person that posted this. White people are tired of being the whipping boy of black people. Not sure how y'all are the whipping boy. Let's see. Let's continue. We are tired of hearing about the same mythical system, racism. I don't remember exactly what I touched on in that episode, but I don't believe in systematic racism. I believe that the test scores in America are basically showing what people are capable of. And I believe the income, crime, and the various other statistics that people always point out, they match people's test scores on a large scale. So not saying every individual person scores how they turn out in life, but just judging the groups on the whole, they're behaving like the scores say. So I don't believe in systematic racism like the Democrats and the left. I don't believe that people are being hired and unhired solely on their race. I don't believe judges are punishing and not punishing solely on people's race. I just think that when you go out for a job, I'll do the job, for example. When people go out for the job, there may be a certain amount of whites, a certain amount of Asians, a certain amount of Hispanics, and a certain amount of blacks eligible for each job. So I believe people are looking at the best candidates. Most often per capita, I think the best candidate for a high-skilled job, and high-skilled jobs mean like, okay, doctor, lawyer, business owners, things that are requiring a lot of cognitive skills, things that require a lot of cognitive energy. There's a higher percentage of Asians qualified to do those jobs. Next, it would be whites. Next, it would be Hispanics. Next, it would be blacks. So, of course, that pisses everybody off. But at the end of the day, when somebody's hiring for their business, they're trying to get the best qualified person. So they're naturally just seeing per capita, not saying the total amount of people, but they're not trying to be biased. All that's happening is they're seeing the candidates. They're looking at who's qualified, and more often than not, they're going to see Asians. Then next, like I say, whites. Then next, Hispanics. Then next, blacks. So they're hiring people based upon the qualifications. Second off, when dealing with, it doesn't happen so much to white people because they're the majority, but when you're dealing with a minority like Hispanics and blacks, if your group is not performing as well and they're not as intelligent, even if they can get some of the high-skilled jobs, there's so many high-skilled jobs in America, it's only a certain number of blacks who are qualified to do it. Only a certain number of Hispanics. Really only a certain number of whites and a certain number of Asians. But Asians, since they're so qualified per capita, you don't notice that they're a minority when you start talking about the high skill jobs. But what you notice with Hispanics and blacks is they're a minority and less of their population is able to do the job. So at some point, what happens is all the qualified blacks do get hired. There's still jobs out there. All the qualified Hispanics get hired. There's still qualified jobs out there. So you still have to hire people. So they start hiring whites. So what the blacks are seeing is they're saying, oh, we're 13% of the population. But I think right now blacks are like 5% of lawyers, 5% of doctors, right? So what they're saying is like, for 13%, we should be 13% of the lawyers and doctors. Well, actually, if you cut off the lawyers and doctors at a certain IQ, which basically is what standardized test is, you got to test them to get into law school. You got to pass the bar. I'll do go more in depth on this, but I know some of these numbers offhand. What's happening is that they are letting the black people who scored the scores to get into law school in. They're actually letting in blacks with a lower score. They're letting Hispanics in who can get the scores. They're actually letting in Hispanics with a lower score than whites. Then when they take the test after they've got into school, they've all got into the school now. Then they take the bar exam. They take the bar exam. The Asians and the whites are passing. 90% of the law students in law school that are Asian and white pass the bar. 80% of Hispanics pass. 65% of the blacks pass. So what I'm trying to show people is that in America, they giving everybody the opportunity. You can't, us as black people can't cry and say they don't have enough black attorneys. We got to pass the fucking bar. We're taking it and not even passing at the rate other groups are passing it. So it's not someone else's fault that our race is underachieving. That's something that we have to improve on ourselves. Hey, a lot of y'all are saying I don't take accountability. Hopefully y'all see that I am now. And that's also true of med school as well. Not exact numbers, but you know the general gist of what I'm saying. Charlie Kirk and Turning Point aren't savvy on security. Says a lot on his education and lack thereof. They probably had good security. I mean, Trump has the best security in the world and he almost got shot twice. So yeah, anybody can be harmed. I mean, I'm not going to say it's on Turning Point security. Caesar Gamise 9999 said, this chick is a plant. So I don't know who they're talking about. BB thinks he's slick. She's totally advertising. Probably talking about those Instagram influencers. Could have been the Jewish ones. Could have been the Christian conservative. Plant, for those who don't know the lingo of the young people, it's like an industry plant. That just means that somebody put them in that position and they didn't grow to their recognition and fame organically. So they're just saying that BB probably either paid her. There's something going on saying that Israel's paying influencers $7,000, and this person didn't mention that, but it's just saying that in some way she's a puppet or working for Israel. The ADL is a direct product of benign Barith. Going to look into that. Nick mentioned it. I know what Zionism is. So Zionism is just saying the Jewish state, Israel should be a Jewish state. I think Jewish people should be allowed into Israel. It doesn't have to be a Jewish state because America is not a Christian state and Russia is not a Christian state. They just have, Christian values that are part of their fabric. 15. That was Mr. Loud Thought. Mr. Loud Thought left another comment. Thanks for leaving comments, bro. Subscribe to the channel. 1559 is not slavery. Slavery was a product of Bacon's Rebellion. Heard of Bacon's Rebellion, can't remember what it is offhand, which is the original race dynamic of this country. Yeah, some people call slavery the original sin. Xavier Magnet, Kirk was a devout racist. Soft racist. Less racist than Nick, right? Charlie wasn't out here calling us niggers and all that type of shit. Epstein Files, also from Xavier, not sure what he's talking about. Robert Sanchez 5652. If whites are 3 times more likely to murder... No. Got to get this straight. Whites are 3 times as likely as Asians to commit violent crime. Not 3 times as likely to commit murder. Let me think. Murder. 1. I think they're 2 times as likely to commit murder. So, okay, close to 3. But not exactly 3. Compared to Asians than blacks, according to analytics cross-referencing with GTD TAT. Black males are 400. No. Black males are not... Oh, well... He says 430 times plus more times likely to commit murder than Asians. Let me do the math for you guys and see if I can get this right. Okay. Blacks are like 0.0018 for murder. So that's, I don't want to say it the 100,000 because I might not get that right, but I think the number is 0.0018. Asians are 0.0001, whites are 0.0002, and then Hispanics are like 0.004. So in comparison to Asians, I think blacks murder more likely than whites at 7%. I think blacks murder at the rate of Asians maybe 26% or 20%. It's not 430, bro. Oh, he also said black males. We're not getting into this, bro. I did that last episode. Now you're talking about the black males 14 to 42. They're committing 7. That's the group of black males committing the most murders is 15 to 42. They're committing it at like 70 per 100,000. But then there are whites in Appalachia doing it at half the rate. So I don't know if his numbers are correct. He's saying that blacks are at 430 times more likely to kill. Blacks in that age group are 430 times more likely to kill compared to Asians. So I can do math a little bit, bro. Just to add on to your statement, let's say you're correct for the state of argument, for the point of arguing. That would also mean that whites in Appalachia are 230 times as likely to kill compared to Asians. So the same thing I'm saying applies, bro. It's still a problem in the white community. Also, blacks are 144 more likely to kill compared to... You're just going into semantics and you're going into it with the wrong person, bro. Like, you're saying black men commit more murder than white women. Well, men in general commit more murder than women. Then black people commit more murder than whites. So you're just piling on... You're piling on like the same stat in different ways. I could make this worse and worse. I could say black people 15 to 30 or 15 to 35 is even higher than 430 times. It might be 800 times because it's like I'm just focusing in on a specific and a smaller group. Oh, he had more, he said. Not too much more. No way you spin this to make you sound sane. I'm spinning it on the spot with you, bro. You coming up with all this math from the ChatGPT. And I'm doing it off the cuss, my nigga. This man is insane. Don't hurt anybody, bro. God's gonna punish me for eternity for my ignorance. Bro, if that was the case, he's gonna punish everybody because none of us have the knowledge or the grace or love that God has. And I acknowledge my people's problems. Something wrong with you, bro. I hope you get the help you need. But follow and subscribe. I go through a therapy session myself. Maybe my therapy can help you, Robert Sanchez 5652. User JM46. It's too many stuff to name, but they commented on our first video. It's called The Usual Suspects, America's Focus on Black Crime. Ironically, guys, all these people who commented after Nick saying I don't take accountability, if you look at just the first 2 episodes, I'm not bashing blacks. Nick bashes blacks. I'm holding black people accountable for what they did. You're so intent. Well, I don't know. They commented on the one where I think I held blacks accountable. Let me see what this person is saying. You're so intensely dumb. And your dull lifeless eyes, Lord have mercy, they critique you on. I see how women feel. Nigga critique you on everything when you're on the camera. My dull lifeless eyes. What you on, bro? Your dull lifeless eyes communicate that before you opened your... I'm drooling. Come on, bro. I'm gonna have to start ribbing some of you niggas. Like, I might separate some comments beforehand and we might just get into a little rib session. I might start going live. We're gonna see. Cause I don't like the disrespect and I'm ready for you niggas. And yes, you can be white niggas. That's what they call the whites in Southeast Europe. The niggas of Europe. Chris Teason. Okay. There are so many wonderful, beautiful people of all colors. Yes. It's the ghetto. You're going to do it by ratio. More of a problem in the ghetto for local crime and things, but 10 projects in America. 10 projects in New Orleans. I know tons of people from the project work hard, kind people, want the best for everybody. I'm not going to stereotype the ghetto in that way, but I do know what you're saying. Like, inside of the ghetto, there are more local problems. Like I say, the people in the ghetto aren't causing the war in Gaza. The people in the ghetto aren't causing the inflation in America. The people in the people in the ghetto aren't causing the Republicans and Democrats not to be able to compromise. There are other problems that are big that have nothing to do with the lower class. That behavior of people is worldwide. Yeah, like never do nothing. See, a lot of these slurs, like the do nothing slur and the we was kings, and a lot of these slurs that y'all, or we was this and per capita, a lot of these slurs, they're meant to be like condescending to blacks, but I just flip them. So anyway, she said like never do nothing, or wigs, lashes, slippers, and shower caps, guns, rape, gold teeth. See, she's just drawing a stereotype of black people, and I don't appreciate it. I think it's disrespectful, but she did say they have beautiful people of all races, but I wish she wouldn't stereotype poor people or poor people in the inner city. I'll stop reading it just because we was getting along. You going down a slippery slope. Chris Tenson, I like you for now. Let's keep it that way. Okay, getting towards the end of the comments. Lex Losophone. Why are you giving him the benefit of the doubt? Giving who? Nick. Okay, it's a comment on Nick on PBD. Why are you even doubting out loud? 12 years old is young, but not. Why am I giving him the? Why are you giving? I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because he might have been a smart kid. Why am I doubting out loud? It's a live reaction video, so I'm literally responding in real time, and I talk out loud to keep training my own thoughts because I have so many. 12 years old is young, but not young for Nick. Yeah, I said he might have been a smart kid. Oh, you left 3 comments. I'll respond to all 3, bro. Lex, Los, Sophone. There you go. There it is. It's racist. It always like to pull out the racist. How original. It had not occurred to anyone. Wow, what insight. Nick says a lot of shit. Some of it is racist. That's probably why I said it was racist. What? CNN, you give both sides. Nope, no. Take a better look. Watch some of the other episodes. We have 7 or 8 up now. I try to give both sides, but I even try to break it down more so into 2 sides to let people know it's lots of sides, right? I don't want to call it a circle, but it's like liberals. No, leftists, liberals, progressives. Well, leftists, progressives, liberals, Democrats, libertarians, conservatives. No, Republicans, moderate Republicans, conservatives, then alt-right conservatives, right? It's so many groups of people, and that's just me thinking racially or ideology, but then you got economics, you got like, it's like social economics, and you got religion, Christian, Jewish, Islamic, atheist, Hindu, Buddhist. I know this is a lot for everybody. Everybody don't want to think about everything, but what we should consider is not putting people in a one-thing box. You're white. White what? White liberal? White liberal is completely different from a white conservative. You're black. You're black lower class, you're black upper class. I mean, we do quickly call people one name and try to make that name define them. There's too much to everyone. You can be a brother, father, and husband. It's just a lot to everybody. So when we name somebody by something and try to put them in a box, we're always doing a person injustice. So we should just work on how we treat others and how we engage with others. That is it for today's show, guys. See you guys next week, and we'll discuss other current and interesting topics going on in the news and the world around us. It's not just America, I guess. I've been covering the Middle East too. Peace, y'all. If you like this video, please smash the like button, comment, and subscribe. New shows airing Monday through Thursday.